What's good, everybody? I'm Brian.
And I'm Ashley.
Welcome back to another episode of the Killer Point of View podcast, where horror movies and true crime are one and the same. We have Joe here with us.
Hello.
And we have Jamie here with us.
Hey, guys.
Before we get into this episode, I would like to say a few things. Why are y'all looking like that?
I don't know what's going on.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have to be worried. It's nothing bad. Okay. I would like to thank my beautiful co-host, not you, Joe. Sorry. Ashley, for starting this podcast with me. It's been a journey, long, hard, pause journey. But no, I want to thank you for helping me create this and kind of helping me stick to it, because it is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. So I would like to give you a round of applause.
Well, thank you. Even though, you're obviously the mastermind here and you're the one that does all the behind the scenes work. So, shout out to you too, because you're the one who does all the editing and all that kind of stuff, because I am useless.
Also, I would like to thank Joe. Definitely helped me creatively. I forgot when I asked you to be on the podcast, like October.
You mean
June.
Officially join, or just officially? I think it was like back in maybe
November. December, somewhere around there.
At the first time it came on, I think it was like September for A Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah. Which I want to do that movie again. It's such a good movie.
Right.
But no, I would like to thank you for joining the podcast. Definitely helped in a major way. So round of applause to you.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be a part of it. It gives me something to do in my spare time, because I really don't have much of a life outside of work.
I mean, you could watch The Killing.
I could watch The Killing. Yeah. I'd like to watch it. So haven't been able to watch it this weekend. So
see. Also, I would like to thank Jamie. You've definitely made me remember some of the 90s thrillers that I've kind of forgotten about for sure.
Yeah.
I think you were a great addition to the podcast as well. What was the first episode that she did? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, maybe? Or no, Friday the 13th?
No,
yes.
Wrong Turn.
Oh, Wrong Turn.
Was it Wrong Turn?
Yeah, damn.
Uh-huh.
I knew it was Wrong Turn or Friday the 13th. It was one of those.
Yeah, Friday the 13th was the second one.
Yeah, both are really great episodes if you guys want to go check those out. But yeah, I think you added. You were a week late on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode.
Yeah.
But I would like to thank you also for joining the podcast as well.
Well, thank you. And like Joe said, I'm having a blast doing it, and it's awesome, and I appreciate you guys a lot.
You're welcome. I would like to thank all of our listeners and our followers on, across all social media platforms. It has been a journey.
You're about to say you won the lottery, aren't you?
Last episode, Brian won the lottery.
Right.
Right. No.
I'm getting all excited here. I'm like, he's thanking everybody like he just won something.
No, I didn't. I did not win the lottery. But I am awake though. I've been really tired for months and months and months. But I am awake. And
so you got a good night's sleep this weekend, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I feel rested.
Damn.
So for all of the naysayers and haters and doubters and all that stuff, I'm on y'all ass this summer. So right. I just would like to thank everybody who has helped the podcast grow and stuff like that. So now we can get into today's episode.
So just real quick, this is what he's like when he's well rested, Ashley? He's very happy.
What are you talking about?
It's like, thank you, everybody. You're so kind.
It might be the popsicle he's eating.
I guess.
No,
because at work he's just like, man, fuck all of you. He just walks around.
I am not like that. Okay,
You say it under your breath.
I am not like that.
No, you don't say it to people's
I think that's your
faces.
work mode, but no, he's silly, goofy, happy, fun. I think at work he kind of gets into that zone where he's like, I'm here to work. I want to get the fuck out. I don't want to deal with y'all.
Oh no, he can be funny at work. We all like to fuck with him and just talk about weird shit, and he's just like, man, you guys.
He has told me very weird shit. So
Yeah.
I start the podcast off giving thanks to y'all, and y'all basically just gave me a backhanded compliment. I see. It's
No,
okay.
no.
That's not what that was at all.
It's okay, because like I said,
We got to poke fun at the wizard because the wizard's behind the curtain. No one can see his face.
I feel like a lot of people have been poking the bear for a long time.
Uh-oh.
And I'm out of hibernation now, so I am full work mode, ready to go.
Awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
Cool.
Today's episode, we are discussing the 2016 foreign horror film, correct? Train to Busan, which came out in 2016, I believe it came out. But the question, the real question we're answering today is this the greatest zombie film of all time? Now, before we get to that, Joe, can you read us a synopsis, please?
Certainly. A divorced father in Korea is escorting his young daughter to visit her mother via train when a zombie apocalypse breaks out across the country, with one of the infected managing to climb aboard just before the train departs. With the epidemic rapidly spreading across the country, the father, along with a group of surviving passengers, must fight off the infected until the train can make it to safety.
Now, I know, Joe, you've seen this before, and I've seen this, I think, 3 times this year, which is my first time seeing it. I've seen it 3 times this year. Ashley and Jamie is your first time seeing it, I believe, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Jamie, let's start with you. What were your initial thoughts after watching the film?
I mean, I couldn't believe how much I loved it. I was shocked. I mean, it emotionally really got to me, which is crazy because I feel like, horror movies in general, I don't get sad. I've never cried, I don't think, before until I watched this movie. So, I don't know. It was an experience. I can say that. It was amazing.
Are you a fan of zombie films or not really?
I mean, it's not really something I watch. I mean, I will. I probably will now, especially after I watch this. I might find some more to watch, but it's not a genre of horror that I look to watch, versus other stuff.
Okay. Ashley, what was your first thoughts after watching the film?
It was incredibly fucking brutal. It was just like a roller coaster the whole time because, I mean, you would just repeatedly watch them narrowly escape these horrific fucking situations, and then they turn the corner and it's like, JK, here's another one that's even worse. And so it was fucking brutal, but it was really, really good. The only complaint I have
Here we go.
No, it's not even bad. The only complaint I have is I think obviously this was not in English.
No.
And so I feel like I don't have a problem with it not being in English. I have a problem with what I feel like the translations were kind of off in the version that we watched. Some of the things they said, I don't think they would have said it like that in their language or used certain terms and different things. And so that kind of annoyed me just because, make it a little bit more authentic. And I was trying to find who kind of did the voiceover, but I couldn't find who did that. So I wasn't sure, what that was, but that's really the only thing was kind of a little bit of the translation being off. But I mean, that's not the movie's fault. So
right. I watched this for the first time this year and I was blown away. Kind of like what you said, Jamie, about the emotional part. I actually cried at the end of the film.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm
okay.
crying my eyes out. Yeah.
I take that back. Yeah. I teared up. I wasn't like waterfall face crying.
Right.
But
I was.
I definitely did tear up because kind of the main character, it made me think about myself a lot. So, and Joe, you've seen this probably a while ago, probably.
This is probably my fifth time seeing it.
Okay.
And I mean, the same thing. That's one of the things I've noticed about foreign horror films, especially I would say Korean films. They tend to put a lot of emotion into the movie as well. There's not like, it's not like just, blood and gore and everything. They try to get you emotionally invested in the characters as well, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as far as you said, Ashley, about the translation, yeah, I mean, there's certain words and everything that like in English are not in Korean or whatever, so they kind of have to.
Right.
The translations sometimes are not accurate. I've noticed that in more foreign horror films I've watched.
Right,
So.
and like I said, it's not the movie's fault because it was made in was it Korean?
Yep.
That language. Okay, I just want to be sure, but yeah, not the movie's fault.
Okay, so the cast, I can't pronounce anyone's names. I'm not even going to attempt to try because I don't want to fuck anybody's name up. So you can pull up a list of the cast and check them out. I think the only one that I know of is the husband who had the pregnant wife. I think I've seen him in Eternals, the Marvel movie. I think that's the only one that I know of. Everyone else I wasn't really familiar with. A little fun fact, he was actually the personal trainer of the main character, like in real life.
Oh, really?
He used to be his personal trainer in real life. So that's kind of funny. But I think the cast did a really amazing job, especially the little girl. Like I said, she kind of had me tearing up a lot at the end. But let's get into, is this the greatest zombie film of all time? Joe, with you being the zombie expert on the podcast, I have to ask you first.
I damn near stayed up late thinking about that question because it's like, I can think of a few good ones, but this one definitely had a lot of action. I do like the portrayal of zombies when it comes to how Koreans do them and how, like, for example, 28 Days Later and Dawn of the Dead do them, the way their bodies move and everything, how they act. Is it the greatest? I would say it's damn near there. It's probably like, for some reason, I don't want to say yes. I don't know why.
But what would you put above this? What's better than this to you, in your opinion?
I really do like 28 Days Later.
Okay.
And I think it's because of the movie, and 28 Days Later is more about, there's more to fear than just the infected, as that movie shows you. There's also other people as well. And so I really do like that movie. And that movie was, like, I think one of the first ones where they made the zombies run, which was obviously a scary thing to see. So it's pretty tied with me because I really do love this movie, though, Train to Busan. I mean, I love it enough to where, they're already talking about, I think, making America is talking about making a remake of it. Yeah, I know. They tend
not a good thing.
Yeah, they tend to screw things up, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard any updates yet, except I think the train is going to be either in like New York or Chicago or something like that. I don't know. So
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if they even manage to make it.
Ashley, what about you? Do you think this is the greatest zombie film of all time? I know you're probably not like
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't seen a lot of zombie movies, but I would put this probably at the top of my list. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, now that Joe said that about them running, I swear to God, they were like fucking Olympic with the things that they were doing. I was like, I need to get back in shape in case there's a fucking zombie apocalypse because I ain't gonna make it with the way they were running. And like at the end when they were like clinging to the train and stuff, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I thought that was crazy. So it would be at the top of my list. Yes.
Okay. Jamie, what about you? Do you think this is the greatest zombie film of all time?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, I don't feel like I've watched as many zombie movies, so I don't think I could answer this question. But if, other zombie movies are as good as this one, I highly doubt they'll be as good as this one, is what I mean. So this probably would be the greatest.
Okay. In my opinion, I'm trying to think what my favorite one would be. Dawn of the Dead comes to mind. 28 Days Later comes to mind. Even Shaun of the Dead, it's comedy, but it's still a great, fun movie.
Right.
And there are other films also, but I think this one, like emotionally, because of that emotional factor that this one has, I think I would put this at number one above the other ones. The action was great. It was intense. A lot of intense scenes. Me and Ashley was actually talking about taking a train ride somewhere, right. And she was like, "Oh, we just watched that movie," and I didn't even think about that. Right. but yeah, that would be fun. This is our second train movie that we've done in the past month.
Yeah.
What was the first one?
Girl on the Train.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Pretty interesting. But yeah, I would put this at number one. And I think they did a sequel.
Yes, called Peninsula.
Yes. They didn't they do a animated I think they did something animated also.
If they did, I'm unaware of it.
I think it came out like months of this one coming out.
Okay.
I think I read that. So yeah, okay. We're not zombie experts, but Joe is the closest one, and he said it's right up there. So that's a good look. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I don't think we've said any spoilers yet. You should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Ashley, what was your favorite scene?
Oh, I kind of want to just say the ending scene of them walking through that tunnel. And I mean, at that point, you're kind of left wondering. Obviously, you can tell that like their military has a good defense going and stuff, and so that they might finally be safe after everything they just went through. But at the same time, it's a horrible scene because. Do you not want me to say spoilers?
We can say spoilers.
Okay.
If you haven't seen the film yet, go watch the film and then come back to this episode. Okay? But there you go. Spoiler warning. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we just saw the little girl literally watched her dad die. So that's horrible. This pregnant woman just lost her husband. But to kind of see them,
trauma bond.
Yeah. Be able to make it and kind of, get to the end and hopefully be safe was a good scene after everything that they just went through.
Okay. Jamie, what about you? What was your favorite scene?
Yeah, mine's basically the same. I mean, even though, it is the saddest part of the movie, but, after the dad becomes infected and he has the flashback of his daughter being born and then the little girl's just singing that song. I mean, it's just, it was heartbreaking. But it really just, I think it ended the movie, the way it should have ended, even though it was obviously sad the dad had to get infected. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like that scene will stay with me a long time.
Yeah, the look on her face when she was crying as her dad.
Oh my god,
falling off the train. Yeah, that's
I know.
An image that will definitely stick with me for a long time.
Yeah, she did such a good job. She was good.
Joe, your favorite scene?
There's a few to pick from. I really do like the scene where the three guys are having to fight their way through the cars to get to the other passengers. That's a pretty fun scene. Mm-hmm. And but I also enjoy the scene where basically when the initial outbreak starts on the train, the train attendant is walking between the chairs and the zombies on top of her just biting her neck, and everybody's like, what the hell's going on? And then as soon as the zombie jumps up and starts attacking the others, it panic just jumps out. So I like that scene. So
my favorite scene would be when the three guys were fighting through the train. the train carts, whatever, because they didn't have a choice. Like all three of them had someone, a couple carts up that they wanted to get to. So, I mean, it was kind of that. Mean they really didn't have a choice; they just had to go.
Right.
And I really like the scene when they like first walk into the cart. You know, they got their arms covered and all that stuff, and they're just like, okay, let's go.
Right.
And then it's just fucking chaos. That was a fun scene. Yeah, that would be my favorite scene. Okay, let's move into moment that had you on the edge of your seat, Ashley.
I mean, a good portion of the movie. But probably just any of the times that they were like, you know, like you guys were just talking about, move through those train cars and, you know, get to where they were going, or even the ones where like they were trying to hide in the bathroom and like different things like that. Just those things. And then also when they were, after they had gotten off that train, and they, you know, were thinking that they were going to go out into the city or whatever. They were at like the train station. But then, you know, they were trying to run back and they were holding those glass doors closed. And then all of a sudden, you know, it finally breaks and they all just kind of topple in. That was a good one too. So.
Yeah, that scene was probably my favorite, or probably the scene that I was kind of on the edge of my seat the most.
Yeah.
Joe, what was your scene?
So when they first show up and they're expecting the military to be there and they're coming down the escalators, and they see all the soldiers and soldiers turn around, they're all infected. It's like, oh shit,
yeah,
and then they're fighting to get their way up. But I mean that is a good scene. But I'd have to say the scene that's probably has you at the edge of your seat the most for me would be the scene where Suwon, the little girl, is standing there and everything slows down when her father's trying to run towards her and a zombie soldier's coming up behind the kid, and that's when Zhanghua, I believe his name is pronounced. The character just elbows the soldier right in the face and picks up the girl and runs. So
yeah, that was a good part. Jamie, what about you?
Well, I mean, literally the whole fucking movie. I mean, literally, I swear to God, I was screaming at the TV like the whole entire time. I was like, run, go, close the door. Oh my God, what are you guys doing? Like the whole time. I just couldn't believe it. But I mean, probably, you know, the most intense scenes, like you guys said, when the three of them were having to go, I think it said they were in car 19 or car 9 and they needed to go to 13.
Yeah.
To get to their, you know, loved ones. But that was pretty intense. And especially when the really mean guy, I think Jan Suk was his name, the one that like literally just kept like pushing other people to die so that he could save himself. He was such an asshole.
The asshole. Yeah, we just call him that.
Yeah.
The asshole businessman.
I hated him.
Right.
Like when he was infected and then, you know, he was fighting with the dad and I was just, of course, yelling like, no. I knew he was going to get bit. I was so mad. So that scene was really intense too. But yeah, the whole movie.
Yeah, I would... The asshole guy.
Yeah.
I will call him Trent too, because
right.
he's right up there with people I fucking hate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I'm surprised someone didn't hit him earlier on in the movie. Like his whole attitude is just obnoxious.
Yeah, he was awful.
Right.
To me, the scene that had me like on the edge of my seat the most was when they went through the tunnel. And the zombies were kind of just standing there because I guess the light had something to do with how they see people or whatever.
Right.
And and everybody was like on top of the
like where the luggage goes.
Yeah, where the luggage go, and they was crawling. That was intense because it's like what happens when y'all come out the tunnel and y'all still up there? Like you can't really go anywhere. You kind of fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was intense. I was like, fuck that. Fuck that. But yeah, the whole movie was pretty intense. I do like that scene where they were trying to lock the door and, you know, the zombies, like all the glass broke and everything. That shit would have, who's in shape to like really outrun that many zombies? Like if it's 1, 2, that's fine. But there was hundreds
that was a lot
of them.
Yeah.
Who can outrun that? Like, for real. And then trying to catch up with the train, and then the fucking old lady, the sisters.
Yeah,
I think they were sisters.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. That was sad. Also, there's a lot of sad moments. In this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have a couple movie facts. Kind of already mentioned one of them with the one guy being the other guy's trainer. I'm really sorry that I can't pronounce anybody's name, but I don't want to fuck it up. This is the 6th highest grossing domestic film of all time in South Korea.
Nice.
Damn.
Speaking of South Korea, it had 11 million moviegoers in South Korea alone. That's a lot. Like an insane amount of fucking people to go see this film. I don't know how it did over here. Like,
I have to look.
I think it grossed like 2 point something million in the United States. And it grossed 90.
Gross U.S. and Canada was about 2.1.
Which I don't understand that.
I don't know how.
Well, actually, no, I do understand it because it's the same thing with music. Like a lot of people who aren't really that big here, overseas, they are like they can make really good money, like touring and stuff like that. So I can see how that would be the same with movies. But like you think about movies that come out here that are really big, it's kind of worldwide.
Yeah.
But then something like this, which was really big overseas, it wasn't really that big here. It kind of, I feel like I've never seen a trailer for this movie also. Like thinking about it, I don't think I've ever seen a trailer for it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I can't remember how I first heard about this movie. I think a friend told me at work about it when it first came out.
That's how I found out about it, because you told me about it.
Right. Foreign, I don't think, the reason I think foreign films don't really do good maybe here in the States is because people don't like reading subtitles.
Yeah.
I will admit when I first was trying to read subtitles, it was a pain in the ass because mainly my hearing as I've gotten older has gotten worse, so I damn near have subtitles on any movie I watch, even English speaking movies.
I was gonna say I watch all the shit with the subtitles.
I have to now because my hearing's gotten bad, and you'd be surprised at how much you actually miss when you watch a movie like that you haven't seen in years. It's like, holy shit, they said that.
The reason why I put the closed captions on every fucking thing that we watch is because I hate when, like, some movies you'll be watching something and you can hear it fine, but then like an action scene will come up and it gets super fucking loud. I hate that shit. Yeah. So I just turn the closed caption on for everything because I hate having to go up and down with the fucking volume, because of the action scenes and stuff like that. But subtitles, I've never really had a problem with subtitles. Like when I was a kid, I used to watch fucking Jet Li and Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan movies all the time.
There you go.
And I remember just watching I never really read the subtitles, really. I just used to watch all the action scenes and stuff in martial arts movies. But, this didn't bother me at all. I know Ashley don't like to read subtitles.
What? No. To watch the whole movie like that, like, I can't read it and watch it at the same time, so I didn't want to be distracted in that aspect, but I think there was just a lot going on, so...
Yeah. And a lot do get lost in translation because like you can tell the people doing the voices don't have the same emotion that the character or the actors and the actresses in the movies
definitely
that
not.
they display.
Right.
It's not the same. So that does throw it off a little bit, but
I didn't do like the voiceover thing. I just did the closed caption or whatever. So I just had to read it the whole time, but honestly it didn't bother me.
That's when I watched it for the first time, that's what I did. But I know,
yeah,
Ashley, I know you probably wanted to hear it in English instead of reading it and watching the film at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, with the voices though, like especially in the beginning, you could tell it seemed very much like you could tell they were just sitting there reading things. There wasn't that emotion in the voices and different things. So that definitely does make a difference.
Mm. Okay, let's move into ratings. Oh, no, sorry. Could you survive a zombie apocalypse? Joe, I'll start with you.
This is a question that me and my friends ask every time we watch one of these movies. Because I have a few friends who are like preppers and everything. They do all that crazy stuff. There's too many variables. It depends on, where you're at when it happens. How severe is it? I mean, if it like broke out in a city, I mean, where we're at right now, we'd be fine for a little bit. Not too long, though, but I'd probably hop on a boat or an island. So maybe I'd survive. Maybe I wouldn't. It's a 50-50. Depends on what you're willing to do to survive. If you're willing to, like, carjack somebody, I mean, you may make it. If you're willing to be selfish, like the asshole business guy in this movie, you might make it. But, I mean, it depends. It's one of those situations where it's like, survival of the fittest.
The world would be part zombie apocalypse, part Grand Theft Auto, if that ever happened.
I think it's already part Grand Theft Auto.
Well, that's true. You do have a point there. Jamie, what about you? Do you think you can survive a zombie apocalypse?
I highly, highly, highly doubt it. but I started to think if I had, the two main guys, the dad and the pregnant lady's husband, if I had those two guys to help me, maybe I might have a chance.
Yeah, they were. They definitely were smart.
Yeah.
Ashley, what about you?
If the zombies are running, absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. If they're just like, zombies that wander around and walk, I could probably live for a while. But like, we ain't getting to the point where, what were we talking about? I'm not eating bugs or like anything like that. So like,
wait, what?
It was the movie Pandorum, I think.
Yeah, we were talking about could you eat bugs?
Yeah, like if I got to do something like that, or if I got to go fucking skin a deer in the backyard, I'm not gonna make it. Like I'm not gonna make it. So if maybe for a little while I could survive.
I think I would survive.
Yeah, you would have like a whole arsenal of like weapons, and you'd have like a whole like boarded up room, and you'd just go outside and take out 40 of them and come back in, eat your dinner.
Yeah, I've seen too many movies to not survive for a long time. I've seen too much. Okay, here's a question for you guys. Would you want to stay by yourself, or would you try to find and form like a little group of people? Because if you do stay by yourself, you will probably die quicker. But you could kind of say the same thing for joining a group, because one person get affected, and I mean, you've seen The Walking Dead, so
that's a tough question. It depends on who's in the group. I mean,
realistically,
like a few of my friends, yeah. But if you're saying like a bunch of random people, like from Walmart, we get stuck. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm taking my chances. I'm gonna go. I mean, realistically, if I was by myself, I think I could last a little while longer.
Okay.
Because I would stay away from the cities, populated areas. I'd load up, like, if the zombie apocalypse broke out, like right now, I'd go home, load up the car with all the food I can and my guns, drive up to the UP, and I'd find one of those rustic cabins out in the woods, and I would just try to hold up for as long as I could.
Just be sniping zombies?
No. The best thing is to not use any of the ammo and just wait for them, and hopefully they don't come to the area.
Well, of course, you get on your fucking Jason Voorhees shit and just start chopping heads off.
Yeah, but they run. If these zombies run, they're going to be chasing them. It's gonna be like, yeah.
Well,
the best thing to do is to avoid confrontation. It's to stay hidden.
Oh, trust me, I know. I avoid confrontation all the time.
That's what happens when he walks away from the group at work and everything. It's just, when he walks away, we all know he's pissed. We're just like, oh.
Wait, what?
It's like sometimes we'll be like, hey, we're gonna be spot washing the plane here today, and he's just like, I should have fucking called in. He just walks away.
No, I just go. I start working. What are you talking about?
You do say I should have called in.
No, I say that. I say that on a daily basis.
So
Okay,
but-
I won't. Oh, it's okay.
What, Ashley?
I was going to talk about Friday morning.
Yeah, let's not do that. Well,
is that why he's being thankful for everything? He had a rough day.
No, I didn't have a rough day.
You weren't at work Friday, were you?
Nope. No, I think. What did I ask?
What could you survive? Apocalypse.
If you would stay by yourself,
Yeah,
or try to
if you would
join a
stay by
group.
yourself. Would you stay by yourself, Ash? Oh well, no, you wouldn't.
No.
You would try to find people.
Yeah, because I mean,
Okay,
I can shoot something, but I'm not.
If zombie apocalypse broke out right now, what would you do first?
Probably try to figure out where I'd want to go and get there as quick as possible, because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to get wherever. So, you know, kind of like what Joe said, gather what you can and you know, find a good place to kind of hole up. And, you know, I wouldn't want to like just stay here and, you know, hope they don't come here or anything. So,
Jamie, what about you? Would you stay by yourself or?
No, I think, you know, like I said, I'll try to find two guys, like with two guys to help me. Yeah, I don't think I would stay by myself. I'd be too scared.
Yeah, this
there's no way.
I feel like it would probably be better to form a little group. I'm not saying like 20 people.
No, definitely small.
No,
but
that's
like
too much. Yeah,
6 to 8 people. Like if it's people you know, maybe like try to find them quickly as possible, and then just kind of, you know, it's like playing laser tag.
What?
Have you ever played laser tag?
Yeah.
Okay, well, laser tag, there's 2 teams, and like laser tag in the dark. Well, that's the only way you can play laser tag. But like no, you start off with 2 teams, and then I think everybody kind of start off at different points, but then you kind of meet up with everybody, find somewhere to kind of protect yourself, and then just light everything up.
Laser tag, that they do that like in they're like little rooms or whatever, don't they? I've never been to one.
Yeah. Or sometimes it'll be like maze, like, you know.
Yeah, it's like a maze.
You've got the little vest on.
It's like paintball.
I know paintball's better. I've done paintball. Paintball's rough.
Paintball fucking hurts.
It hurts, and you are running on some very rugged terrain out in the woods. I lost a shoe because we ran through a swamp. We were trying to ambush some people.
I like laser tag because you don't actually feel anything, and that
First time I did paintball, I got the guy shot the 2 people who were with me. This is just lone green beret dude, and then he shoots me like chest, and then right in the face.
Yeah, see.
And he turned out he was a priest. He was the guy who owned the property we were on. It was like a priest shot me, dude.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't do that. But yeah, I think you should find like less than 10 people. Try to find them, and then
you got to keep in mind food. Food's going to become scarce if you're with a group of people. People are going to start getting hungry and getting greedy, and you run into a lot of problems when you're with a group. But I understand having a group.
Yeah,
so it just depends on your location, I would say.
Because like if you do hold out long enough to where you're not really worried about the zombies anymore, then you have to worry about other people,
right?
And that's kind of where a group will come in handy.
Yeah.
Opposed to being by yourself. So
yeah, it also depends on what you believe is going to be the outcome. Do you think it's going to be like civilization is going to collapse and never come back, or do you think it's just we got to hold up until the government comes back in and fixes the shit, or which they suck at doing anyway?
I think if that really happened, I think it would probably be a really long time. Like
right?
Yeah,
years.
the government's not going to get that shit under control.
No,
well, because they're
going to go in their bunkers and say, "Screw this."
Well,
probably
the government is outnumbered by us, so they can't really do that much. They would protect the people who.
Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, if it broke out in like a city, number one priority would be like containment, like the crazies.
Yeah, they would try to
contain it 1st, then they'd start bombing cities. I mean, they would just do crazy shit.
Yeah.
So,
okay, let's move into ratings. Jamie, I'll start with you. What would you rate this film on a scale of 1 to 10?
So I would definitely say 9. Like I said before, characters, you care about them, you root for them. The performances were great. I was definitely on the edge of my seat the whole entire time. I probably would have given it a 10, but I still think it was probably a little bit too long for a zombie movie. They could have cut off a little bit of time, and I probably would have said 10 out of 10.
I think I agree with you with that. I think they probably could have skipped 1 or 2 scenes in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, because before it really picks up.
Yeah, I think it took a little bit before it got to the zombie stuff. So, but that did kind of add more to the story. So, just depends.
Yeah.
Ashley, what about you? What would you rate this film?
I don't know. I kind of want to give it a 10, but have I ever done that before? Probably not.
I think you have once before.
I think we've all given a movie a 10 at least once on the show.
I think I'm going to have to give it a 10. I do kind of agree just a little bit with what you guys said about, they could have clipped a few things where we didn't need so much just like lingering in the beginning. But I mean, it was just really, really fucking good. Lots of action. Obviously there's the huge emotional element to it. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to go with a 10.
Okay. So we have a 9 and a 10. Joe?
So the movie, it does have a good balance of action. The emotional element, like you said, Ashley, is excellent. I like that in the movie. And just being a zombie movie, I really enjoyed it. As far as being long, yeah, it was a little bit long, but I think the action it kept you distracted and intrigued to where the time passed a little bit quicker. At least for me, it did. Yeah, I've seen this a few times. It's definitely one I enjoy. So easily 10 out of 10.
Okay. This might be our highest ranking film on the podcast.
And it's a zombie film. Huh? Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be nice. No, I feel like we ranked Texas Chainsaw Massacre high. Maybe not this high. Like, I don't think anybody gave it a 10.
I don't remember.
Either way.
Yeah.
I'll let you get this round, sir. I will rank it a 9. I think emotionally it was great. The action scenes were great. The acting was really good. It was intense pretty much the entire movie. Like once the zombies really started to come out, it was intense the entire film. I would never want to be in this fucking situation at all. I think kind of like what you said earlier, Joe, about how the zombies like worked, how they transform and stuff like that. I think that's probably. I think these are the best zombies I've ever seen.
Right.
Like just thinking about Dawn of the Dead and other stuff, how they turned and stuff like that. I like this film a lot because it kind of happens pretty quickly.
Right.
And yeah, I give it a 9. So it's what, 2 9s and 2 10s?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
nice.
That's pretty high.
That's a good movie.
That's pretty high. What do we have here next? Movie TV recommendations. Okay. Ashley's going to sit this one out. I wanted to start this segment just because I feel like, well, one, no one watch every single thing that comes out. And I'm sure we're all missing some great TV shows or movies or whatever. So I think it's good that we get recommendations from different people who like different type of things and stuff like that. So Joe, you want to go first?
Yep. So this one is a favorite of mine. It's also a favorite of Trent's, my niece. Grave Encounters came out in 2011. Synopsis is found footage collected from a long-since-closed mental hospital is presented to the viewers, revealing the disappearance of a small group of TV show filmmakers who spend the night at the asylum. This movie's budget was $120,000, and its box office was $5.4 million. So that's definitely a success. But yeah, I think it got like mixed reviews when it first came out, but it has spawned a sequel in 2012, which I personally didn't care that much for it. I'd have to watch it again because I vaguely remember it. But and it's attained a cult following since its release. So it's definitely one of those good found footage horror films. Has good jump scares in it. It takes place in an asylum, which is creepy enough. It's all dark and everything, so it's definitely entertaining.
Okay. I want to say I've seen it before, but I can't remember.
Watch it again, man. It's fun. It's good enough.
It sounds familiar, but I can't remember.
I know. I feel like I might have seen it too. I'd have to look.
Jamie, what would be your movie or TV recommendation for the week?
Mine is a movie called Alone, which is streaming on Hulu, and it's a horror thriller. It's about a recently widowed traveler. She's kidnapped by a cold-blooded killer, only to escape into the wilderness where she's forced to battle against the elements as her pursuer closes in on her. So it's kind of like one of those movies, you know, it's kind of in one location. It's basically just two people, you know, the woman that's kidnapped and the crazy guy. Mm-hmm. So, but it's good. It's really intense, you know, throughout the whole movie. And, it's got a 1 hour and 38-minute runtime, which is my favorite. Mm-hmm. And it's streaming on Hulu right now. So I would definitely recommend it.
When did it come out?
2020.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen it.
No, I haven't.
I have to look it up. I don't think I've ever heard of it either.
Yeah, I feel like it was one I was just like looking through movies and it looked like it might be good. And it was.
Oh, no, I remember seeing the like poster for it. Okay. I've never seen it though. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to add that to the list. My recommendation is, I don't even know if I should recommend it because I feel like if you're a horror movie fan, you probably have seen this film. The Crazies. Joe, you just mentioned it not too long ago.
Right.
It is a remake. Crazies came out 2010, has a runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. It stars Timothy Olyphant. I never know how to pronounce her first name. Radha Mitchell. She was in Silent Hill. Danielle Panabaker, who is in Friday the 13th that we was just talking about. But yeah, it's basically about a plane crash. A plane carrying a virus ends up crashing in a small town, and the water system being infected, and people basically start turning into zombies. Even though I don't think they mention the word zombie in the film.
Yeah,
actually in Train to Busan, I think they only mentioned zombie one time in the film.
Right. Typically, if I think about all the zombie movies I've seen, they don't really say the words zombie.
Right.
So, and I know that, in the late George A. Romero, who's like considered the father of zombie genre, I mean, he would even argue that some of these films are not zombie films to him. So, just because of his perception of what zombie was supposed to be and everything. Mm-hmm. So, it was like a zombie, and I think through his eyes was like a slave to consumerism and corporations and stuff like that. So, the hidden meaning behind what a zombie was. But, yeah, The Crazies is definitely a good movie. So,
yes, amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's streaming on HBO Max. If you like stuff like 30 Days of Night or Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later, stuff like that, this would be something you probably like. I know, Ashley, you like that movie, right?
Yeah, I've seen it probably 4 or 5 times.
It's a great movie. I think I've seen this at the movie theaters, if I remember correctly. Yep. And that's going to do it for today's episode. Make sure you like, comment, share, rate us on whatever podcast streaming thing you're listening to if you're not watching this on YouTube. Anybody got anything else to say?
Nope. No.
Well, just remember that there is a thin line between horror movies and true crime. Good night.